So guys, the Bingham, it is apparently 10 patties, and if you eat it all, they give it to you for free. Do you think you can eat the Bingham?
Cue swollen, sleepy face, me.
Both of us were so tired.
I'm so tired. 2 a.m. East night. But we are on breakfast duty this morning.
This is Chef Justino.
And Chef Lindsina. and we've got pancake and sausage.
Bananas, oranges, coming your way.
Here we go. Just listen to the sizzle.
Well guys, we've got the new rope tow here at the cabin just installed, and there it is.
I think we got a lemon.
Now it's fully refurbished. It goes about a half mile an hour. and oh my gosh.
If you'll notice, I'm wearing Justin's coat because we came all the way up to a snowy cabin and I forgot the one thing I needed, a coat.
Lucky for her, you guys, I had an extra.
Okay, your goggle hat combination, snowsuit combination is something else.
Legit.
All right, Lando, this hill is best face forward. You ready for this? Yeah.
Get him, Annabelle. What do you got there? An icicle, huh? That definitely can't come inside. What do you do with it? Huh? No, you can't come in here with that. Well, everybody, our time has come to an end here at the lodge. We had an absolute blast, seriously. We played all day, every day. Annabelle has not stopped barking. There's this guy that comes by with sled dogs. He has 12 sled dogs, and he comes running by here with his sled dogs, and Annabelle honestly just can't stop barking. And they haven't been there for like 45 minutes. But anyways, we had a blast. Let's go home. So guys, the Bingham, it is apparently 10 patties, and if you eat it all, they give it to you for free. $47. Turn. Do you think you can eat the Bingham? Do you think you should eat the Bingham even if you could? Probably not. I agree.
Okay, we just got home. All the kids are helping bring in the bags and everything from our little weekend trip. And Justin is gonna get the snowmobile back to our neighbor who was so kind to lend that to us for the weekend. We just found out from our friends, so you can't actually drive into the cabin because there's so much snow. So you have to park at this parking lot, and then our friend who has a side-by-side, basically like a big RZR, but it's not a RZR. So they put something on the tires so that they can drive it in the snow. And it can fit our entire family in it and all of our things in the trunk of it, and then also in this sled that they pull behind it. And then Justin drives the snowmobile in. So when we got there, they would just drive one family into the cabin at a time, and today they would drive each family one at a time back to their car. And so they obviously were gonna leave last because they lock up, you know, and close everything up in their cabin. And they were driving out at about a mile out from the cabin, and their side-by-side totally broke down. Obviously we didn't know this, so you don't have any service in that area, so we couldn't, it's not like they could have called any one of us or texted any one of us. Anyway, miraculously, 2 snowmobilers came by and rescued their family and were able to help snowmobile out everybody to their cars because it was getting dark and they had no other way out. And she's pregnant with twins and they have a big family, you know, that they would have been in a really difficult position if it weren't for those people. So we're so glad that they got out safely. Everybody is now safely home and getting ready to start the week again. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and the kids had off of school. We had a long weekend, had such a great time, and so we are unpacking the car, trying to get things a little bit organized and get the kids to bed so we can get ready for the school week. We actually packed everything in these totes because they would get put in the back of the side-by-side and get blown with snow, and we didn't want anything to get wet. So we had no suitcases, no backpacks. We just put everything in these little totes. Okay, got all the kids in bed. You guys, that was such a fun weekend. I'm so glad that we went. I have to be honest, sometimes before trips, I'm grumpy mom that doesn't want to gather everybody's things and do all the laundry and find everybody's gloves and snow pants and go grocery shopping and plan meals and do all the things that are required to get a family of 6 on a trip. But once I got there this time, I was so happy that we did it because we had so much fun. Such a great group of people, such darling kids. Oh my goodness, my kids had so much fun. And I just love going to the middle of nowhere where we can kind of disconnect from, you know, all the electronics and just have some good old-fashioned fun. Playing out in the snow and snowmobiling and sledding and playing games and making up dances and having some fun cabin snacks. It was so much fun. We had such a great time. But I couldn't end the day without talking about Martin Luther King Day. Obviously, Martin Luther King is an incredibly inspiring person, but every time that, you know, Martin Luther King Day comes along each year, it reminds me of a quote that has really taken on some personal meaning here at our house. I'm gonna read it so that I don't mess it up, but it says, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." And it just makes me think of, you know, our cute Landon, who is such an inspiration to me all the time, ever since he's been little, because I remember, you know, when most babies around the age of 1 learn to walk, Landon was having a hard time holding his head up, and he was having a really hard time sitting. He was so tight that it was really hard for his body to sit. He had to work on that for a really long time. His back, his neck, everything was so tight when he was a baby. We thankfully got him into physical therapy, you know, at the age of 18 months, which helped him really progress in a lot of those areas. But, you know, then he had to learn how to crawl, and I remember he used to hop before he could ever crawl. He had a really hard time doing that reciprocal motion, so he would just pull with his hands and then pull with his legs, and then he had to learn to kneel and to stand and to walk along a wall and then to take a few steps independently and then learn how to walk, and then he had to learn how to run and then how to skip and then how to jump with 2 feet. And it took a really long time, and I think, you know, in some ways he doesn't know any differently. But I think it would be really easy for him to feel frustrated that it takes so much effort for him to learn some of these tasks that a lot of us take for granted, things that just come naturally and easily. And I think about how that relates to my life and to the rest of our, you know, to everybody else's lives, and how there's times where we really want to make a change, and it's difficult. Change is hard. And I think about New Year's resolutions. You make goals about how you're going to be a better version of yourself that year. And a lot of times we make these goals and we want to change, and then we fail, and it's so frustrating. And then we try again and we fail. Sometimes it can be really hard to really succeed at hard things. And it just makes me think about this quote and how it's important to just keep moving forward, to keep trying and to keep giving it our best, even when it feels like we're not making progress as quickly as we want to. That if we can't fly, to run, and if we can't run, to walk, and if we can't walk, then to crawl, but to just keep moving forward. So anyway, just kind of some food for thought there. But just also wanted to give a little update for those of you who saw the video where Landon talked about a kid at school saying that he walks like a princess a couple days in a row. And it was funny because he talked about it, but he never seemed super upset about it. So I didn't address it with the teacher because I thought, you know, if he's really upset about it, he'll talk to me and he'll talk to his teacher. Well, I ran into his teacher and she kind of asked me about it. And she said, "Who is it? I don't know who it is that's doing this because the kid was not from their classroom. It was from a neighboring classroom, and I told her who it was, and she said, oh my goodness, that's so funny because they have been little buddies at recess. I would never have guessed it was him. So I just thought that was so funny that Landon, you know, became good little buddies with the kid that originally was kind of picking on him. It didn't surprise me one bit. He's quick to forgive and to be friends with everybody, and I love that about him. So anyway, happy Martin Luther King Day. Come back tomorrow. Justin's leaving town. It's back to reality. Our house is a disaster, which I think I say all the time because that's pretty much just family of 6 status over here. But we are going to try to do some cleaning a little bit here and there this week, get caught up. Back to school, back to sports, back to all the things. So come back tomorrow to experience all the chaos. See you guys tomorrow.